Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing The Scream. Not that you can play a portrait, we're going to play a Sudoku puzzle. Here's a surprise. We are going to be playing a Sudoku puzzle that is like an homage to The Scream. And when you look at the actual grid, you'll be just stunned at how well it's represented in a 9x9 Sudoku grid. We're of course returning to play a willpower puzzle. Really looking forward to this one, aside from the fact that it's represented it incredibly well. I mean, when you look at it, you'd say, yes, this is The Scream. As well as it's got 94% rating at the time of recording, and it's also, what should I say in here? It is also a 1-star difficulty rating. So, looking forward to playing this one. Let's see if we can actually get on with it and take a look at the rules. Can you tell them apart? I'm sure you can. Sorry, bit of comedic effect there. Right, The Scream by Edvard Munch and Willpower. Rules-wise, we've got quite a few of them today. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, every 3x3 box. That is standard. Then we have German whispers. So numbers on green lines are at least 5 apart from their neighbor on the line. Numbers may repeat on the green line if allowed by other rules. So if this cell here was a 2, I meant to keep it small case. So if that's a 2, the neighboring digits would have to be from 7, 8, or 9, so that they are indeed 5 or more away. This particular one can't be an 8 because that would be a 2. We'll get onto that in a second, but let's say that's a 9. Let's say that's a 9. That would have to be a 1, so that they add up to 10, and so on and so forth. Important thing that you'll notice is I'm oscillating between high digits, 6, 7, 8, 9, low digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, and repeat. No 5s on German whisper lines. Then we have RENBANs. So numbers on orange lines are each a set of non-repeating consecutive number in any order. So we've got a few of these. Let's start with this one here. So we've got 4 cells. So if this cell was a 2, essentially the remaining digits are either going to have to be 3, 4, 5, so that it is indeed a consecutive set of no repeating digits, or I can get away with 1, 3, 4, and that would also be a working set. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's another set of consecutive digits. What I couldn't do is skip a digit and place a 5, for example. That's not going to work because they're no longer consecutive. And clearly, at least in this box, can't repeat digits, but this cell and anywhere else on this particular RENBAN, they cannot be the same. Right, killer cages. So, numbers in cages sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage. So if this cell was a 2, this would have to be a 9, so that these 2 cells add up to 11, 2 cells in 11, 2 cells in 11, 3 cells in 10, 21, etc. Got KROPKI pairs to go. I only see just the one. Numbers with a black dot between them are in a 2-to-1 ratio. So if this cell here was, ignore what I did there in the killer cage, if this cell here was a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4, so that one cell is essentially double the other. XVs, numbers with an X between them, must sum up to 10, which is why I had a 9 and 1 in here. You could also have, if that's a 3, this would have to be a 7, so that these 2 cells add up to 10, these 2 cells add up to 10, 10, 10. You get the drift. Right, not all possible dots and X's are given. And orange and grey cell shading has no effect on the puzzle. I actually didn't notice that, but yeah, the eyes, the mouth has no effect on the puzzle. And no negative constraints, so a 3 here with a 7 there, not a problem. A 2 here with a 4 there, so they are in a 2-to-1 ratio, also not a problem. That's all the rules we have for today. There's plenty of them. So, if you fancy being a Patreon of the arts, you can play this particular puzzle, The Scream, with a link down below. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Right, 16 cage and 2 cells, that can only be 7 and 9. That gives me polarity on this particular line, and then I know that these 2 cells are high. That can't be 7 or 9. I know it also can't be a 6. 7 and 9 because they're in the column, because that would be a 4 to add up to 10, and then it would break the German whisper line immediately. So that has to be an 8, that has to be a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3 to be next to the 8, and we're off and running. A few digits in 30 seconds, that's always good. 3 with KROPKI dots, that's got to be 2 or 4. Essentially, quick refresher of black KROPKI dots. They could be powers of 8, or powers of 2, not 8. 1, 2, 4, and 8. And essentially, as you move up, the next one is double the next one. 3 and 6, the previous one, I should say. And 3 and 6 are the other ones. You can always have, or you cannot have, 5, 7, and 9. They form their own set, and they're never on black KROPKI dots. When you have 3 unique digits, you know that they are in the power of 2 series, and 3 of them would be 1, 2, 4, or 2, 4, 8. 2, 4 is always in the middle. I'm actually interested if you can ever have a 4 inside a 10 cage, and I think the answer to that is yes. I could have a 4 with 1 and 5. That works, so ignore. This, when I was playing with it earlier, kind of looked like it would have to be either a 3-4 pair or a 2-5 pair. You know, 1 and 6 are too far apart. That's the obvious part, because I'm not going to be able to make 1 and 6 consecutive on a line of 4. Now, if this is 2-5, that would be 3-4. If this is 3-4, I can get away with 5 and 6. So it's removed 1 and 6, but not enough, really, to be able to solve. One more thing about these 10s on German whisper lines. So you'll notice that I talked about the 4-6 here not being possible. The other one that's not possible is the 3-7. They're too close. They're only 4 apart. So these are 1, 2, 8, 9. And I know that if this is not a 1 inside the 11 cage, so that's a 2-9 pair, so that 8 is not there. If this is a 2, the opposite will be an 8. If that's a 9, that will be, okay, so that's the 1-8 pair. Okay. I'm half tempted to give these false colors. I don't know what the polarity is, but I know that they're going to oscillate. And can I use that at all to my advantage? Maybe. So I know that I have at least 2 low digits in here with 3 and 4. Absolute minimum. And you could almost tell that purple is high and orange is low. You could almost tell, because, you know, the only way to make this still ambiguous is 3-4 with 5-6. Then you'd end up with low digits potentially in here. But otherwise, it's really tough to pull off. Right, let's think about this. If this is 8, that's fairly restrictive because the 2 is placed. Sorry, the 9 is placed, the 1 and 2 are placed, that would be a 3. And if that's a 3, but this is an 8, this would have to be a 9, so it's fairly restricted. 1 and 2 are placed, so if that's a 1, then 8 and 9 are placed. This would have to be a 7, because it couldn't be a 6, because that would require a double 1, and the 7 would have to be next to a 2, because the 1 is placed. So interestingly, these two cells are the same, which means there's a 2 or 9 down here. Yeah, not sure. This cell, this 11 cage, well, it's not 2-9. It's not, it can be 3-8 if that's 1. And it could be 4-7, it could be 5-6. All right, this is not it. Right, this I kind of, when I spotted earlier, it looked interesting. This 14 cage in particular looks interesting. This is 6-8. Sorry. If 14 cages are either 5-9, which they're not in this case, or 6-8, that gives me parity. Sorry, polarity. This can't be a 6 because that would require a double 1. So that's an 8. That's the 6. These would have to be from 1, 2, and 3. That's 1, 3. This is 1, 2, or 3. This would have to be a high digit, and it's not 6, and it's not 8, it's 7 or 9 again. Interesting. Maybe in here, yeah. So not 27, not 18, not 27, not 36. This can only be 4, 5. How long is this RENBAN? I've ignored it for, I think it's 8 digits long. 7 and 8. 7 and 8? No, I've got 3 digits missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it's 7 cells long. So if there is a 2 on this RENBAN, it'd have to be up here. No, I could get away with 2 in here, 1 in there. So no, I can't force any of this. If there is an 8 on here, however, because of these 2 8s, it would have to be all the way up there. But it still allows me a 9 down here. So I don't seem to be able to eliminate the extremes around this RENBAN, at least at this point. These seem highly unlikely to be low digits, because we've got 2 of them already in here. And it would force there to be a 4. So this would have to be a 4. This would have to be a 9. 9. This would have to be low again from 1, 2, 3. Putting a lot of pressure on here. I think the only way that this would work is if it's 1 and 3 and this is 2, 4, 8, and it breaks the puzzle. Right, let me just explain what I just did there. So essentially, I'm just looking at the fact that we already have 2 low digits. If this German whisper line is too low here, too high here, because I've already got these 2, I need to place a 4 on one of these. Can't be in here, otherwise that would be a double 9. So I placed a 4 here, and this would have to be from 1, 2, or 3. That's essentially the remaining low digits. Take a look at what it does to this black KROPKI dot. I can't do 1, 2, 4 anymore in here, because I would just run out. I would have to have a double 3. 1, 2, 4, and then double 3. That doesn't work. But even if I go with 2, 4, 8, which is another possibility, I eliminate the 2's from here. I end up with 1, 3, 1, 3. Where's the 2 in row 5? Row 4, excuse me. So long story short, that has to be high. This has to be low. Did I mean yellow? I really did not mean yellow. This has to be high. So these are from 7, 8, and 9. This is not a 9 next to the 2, 9 pair. This is limited to 1, 2, or 3. This can't be a 1. This can't be a 2. This is in fact a 3 with an 8 and a 7 and a 9 in here. And not a 3 in here. 1 or 2 works. And that 8 gave me the color in here. So that's 1, that's 9, that's 2, that's 8, that's 3, and therefore that's 9. What was wrong with 8? Oh yeah, I've already placed it. That's what's wrong. And then orange is low, kind of like what we suspected, and purple is high. This is not 3, and it's not 4, otherwise that would be a double 9. So this is 1 or 2. So we know at least that 1 is not on this RENBAN. 2 still can be. Let me just take a look. So 2 is definitely on here somewhere. So either the 2 is inside the RENBAN, in which case this is 2, 3, 4, 5, because the 1 can't be. Otherwise, if I put 1, 2, 3, 4, this would break this cell. Or the 2 is not on here, in which case this is 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I still can't eliminate the 2, 5 option. This is still valid. And it would have to be exactly as such. Because of this 2 and 3, the 2 would have to be in here, the 5 in there, the 3 there, the 4 there. Of course, the other possibility is there is no 2. No, if I had a 2 in here, I could still do 3 there, 4 there, 5 there. That's another option. Then lastly, I could have no 2's on here at all, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, and that would be a 2. That would be a 1, and then I've broken the puzzle. Right, sorry. Waking up. Let's clean this up a bit. 1 and 2, they're not in these cells. I said the 1 can't be on the RENBAN because I would have to put the 2 on the RENBAN and then I'd break this cell. So 1 is also not in here. 1 and 2 tells me that this can't be a 1 because I would break one of these cells. So the only place left for a 1 is in here. And this is indeed the 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of option that I was exploring earlier. I ignored the 9, 2, the 3, 8, the 4, 7. This can only be 5, 6. 6, 7, and 9. This can only be an 8. This is still not determined. Incredibly, and I can get away with like almost any digit. 6, 7, and 9. I still have, no, I mean like, so this is a 6, 7 pair. I know what these two are, and the 1 here gave me a 2 there. I know what these two are. This is 1 and 4. I know what these two cells are. There's a 6 or 7 plus a 5, and the 5 can't be on a German whisper line as we determined earlier. If this is a 5, that would have to be a 0 or 10, neither of which are allowed. This is 1 or 2, and of course we now have polarity on this German whisper line. We can probably use that trick again. Yep, that can't be 1, 9, so this has to be 2, 8. So that's an 8, that's a 2, that's a 1, that's not a 2. Yeah, that's a 1, 3 pair, we knew that. And this has to be a high digit that is not 8 or 9, and it can't be a 6 next to the 2 anyway. That's a 7, which gives me a 9, which doesn't put any pressure on this 1 or 3 pair. This would have to be 4 or 5, just completing the row now. That's impossible for it to be a 4 because 2 and 4 have to be on this black KROPKI dot series. And we actually know what it is because of this 8. So that's the 1, that's a 2, that's a 4, that's a 5. I knew the direction because of this 1, and I knew that this is 1, 2, 4 because 2, 4, 8 is no longer possible. That 1 gives me 3, gives me 1. I have 5, I have 4. And that 9 gave me 7 and 9. I say that 9 as if, wasn't written down in the distant past. This is now a 2, 3, 5, 10 cage. These two cells add up to 10. They're not 2, 8. They're not 1, 9. They're not 3, 7. They're 4, 6. And that 7 gave me a 6 in here. These two cells are known. They're 3, 4 pair. 4 gives me 3, 4. What else do I have in here? 9 is in here. These two cells are known, they're 5 and 7. Actually, that's a 7, which gives me the 7 in here and the 5 in here. The 1, 4, and 4, 6 are not resolved yet. So far, I've managed to ignore this RENBAN quite well, but we are really getting to the point where I am going to have to give it a bit of attention. Let's think about these two cells. They are 3, which can only be this side, and 2, which has to be in here. Does mean I can put a 1 in a lot of places on this RENBAN and make it a 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no 8s. Remember, the 8 could have been this cell, but not anymore. So no 8s on this entire line. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 line. None of these are 3 because of this 3. That's the 3, that's a 1. Now we know that the remaining digits are 1, 6, and 7. That's not a 7. This is 1 or 6. In fact, the 1 in here tells me that's the 1, and this is a 6, 7 pair. That gives me 8 and 9. That's got to be the 8. That's got to be the 9. These two cells are 4 and 5. Got a 4, 5 pair, but not useful yet. We know what this is. 2. Then 5 and 6. 5 gives me 5, gives me 6, gives me 4, gives me 6, gives me 4, gives me 1. Right, from the remaining digits, I'm pretty sure the 21 cage, I mean, it's forced because of box 5. Don't really have to think about it too hard. 7, 8, and 6. And they don't really line up in the columns. So 6 or 8, 6 or 7, 7 or 8. This German whisper line surely is useful. 9 and 8 plus another 6, 7, plus a 1 or 2. Not a 2, so it would have to be a 1 and a 6, 7. So that's a 6, 7 pair. That's a digit I should be able to just write in. It's a 4. This one is known, also a 4. These two cells, so I did say this is 6 or 9. Still not, oh yeah, it is resolved. That's 6. That's the 9 to complete the column. That is a 7. Interestingly, not resolved yet. So really, it's going to come down to the 2s. Actually, yes, they are. 2, 3, 4, 5. I was literally looking for something that would resolve the 2, 3, and here it was. Right? Kind of nearly at the finish line here. We need a 3 somewhere in these two cells. That's a 3. This is 6 or 7. That helps resolve a bunch of things. 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, and 6. And a bunch of Sudoku now just to wrap up and finish. 2, 9, 8, and 5 for the finish. Phenomenal puzzle, Mr. Willpower. Another one and another incredible one in the series. I say series, but I mean, you know, this style of drawing that is somewhat unique to you really stands out. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and video. I'm half tempted to just remove the color so that we can actually see the painting once again. I'm not sure you can actually with all the digits, so ignore that. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and video. See you back for the next one. Bye-bye for now.